at us with some new lore and giving us some teasers and telling us something is coming soon. But the question is, what is it that's coming? Hey you guys, it's Cece. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to deep dive into these videos and lore and talk about what is coming. So the first thing they gave us was actually this short. It's like super menacing. So the first thing was chaos awaits, right? And then they gave us this one. I will say the music choice here is interesting. It's a vibe. So again, it was Chaos Awaits. And the few things that I actually noticed with this one was, first, I saw this really cool looking demon spawn champion. And looking at her, I was like, oh, sweet. She's probably going to be an awesome legendary or something. And then this happened. And immediately I was like, oh, she's a mythical. We know that she's a mythical immediately with the change in her appearance. Very cool. But the question is, like, what was it a part of? What is coming? And then they actually gave us a full video. So this was the video that they actually gave us. And I will say they do their lore incredibly in Raid. Like, very cool.
The first demon spawn entered Teleria through several portals along the eastern coast of Yakai. Within a week, the demon filth had overrun 2 castles, razed a dozen villages, and now lay siege to the town of Ruarc.
So I think we kind of saw that in the short, right? We saw the castle burning, we saw a demon spawn. So the lore is definitely connecting the 2 shorts into this and kind of giving us this bit of a teaser before we know what's coming. So we'll kind of see.
Should Ruarc fall, the foe will have free reign in this entire province. More troubling still is the very existence of these portals.
Aye, and their reach is not confined to Yakai alone. Other hosts have pillaged their way along the Mistwood borderlands and dwarven garrisons beneath the mountains. Worse still, agents of the demon spawn, mortal or otherwise, have paved the way with murder and sabotage. Even corrupted Sylvan and Lady Mikage's minions stir once more.
But these attacks seem erratic or...
I do like that they actually mentioned Lady Mikage, because how cool would it be if we were looking at the mythical and if it was another new like perma fusion? That would be super, super cool. But I feel like I'm definitely getting ahead of myself there. But how cool would it be to get another free mythical? I mean, you have to work towards it, but you know what I mean.
Most random. What is their true purpose?
You believe there's more at play, my lady? Is slaughter and destruction not enough for them?
This incursion is different from anything Seroth has attempted before. It's too haphazard, ill thought out. Aravia and K-Rock are in chaos and would have made an easier target, yet these demon spawn assaults are localized here.
Be that as it may, people are suffering as we speak. The scum of Anathrad run rampant. If the Nyresan Union falls under the yoke of Cyroth, all Teleria will be imperiled.
That we shall not allow. And the Nyresans are far from defeated.
Yes, thank Lumaya. Even now, Sovereign Shang leads an army to drive back the foe from Ruarc. I will
Super cool.
join his ranks in the coming battle. Nyresan warriors hound the invaders every step. But I had hoped the Western...
They're definitely showing us and zooming into specific champs here, though.
would be able to help us with this threat.
No aid shall be coming from them. But some of my Vault Keepers will provide shards, hopefully enough to bolster the Nyresan ranks.
Your help shall not be forgotten, my lady.
Will provide shards. How cool would it be if we also got some shards? You know, they're saying they will provide shards. Maybe.
Zhang and his warriors will need all the help we can give. Rally any Sylvan and Dwarven warbands you come across. There is one more ally we can call upon. Tholin Foulbeard. He is an unlikely foe of the demon spawn, but a foe nonetheless. His prowess in hunting them is undeniable, though his behavior is rather unconventional.
I do think that right there is a hint into a champion and potentially even for this big event chaos that's coming. Could even be maybe a login champion, possibly.
Very well. I shall find this dwarf and put his knowledge to good use.
He's a dwarf.
I shan't fail you, Arbiter.
May Lumaya's light guide your blade.
Super cool, like this right here, this
For
artwork.
if you falter now, we shall face a war the world is not prepared for.
So again, it's that Chaos Awakes that they showed us here. And on all of it, it had the 3 symbols above the Chaos Awakes. So kind of makes me think. So let's head back into a game now. So the 3 symbols that we saw around that Chaos Awaken was the Demon Spawn symbol, the Dwarf, and the Sylvan Watchers. So they showed us 3 type of champs and kind of talked about that. And then we have these 3 here. So that definitely is going to be connecting to something coming into the game. And as I said, when they're talking about this Dwarf champ and it being an ally, I feel like that could potentially be a login champ, which I would love, because if I go over actually to my faction wars, see if I can find it. Where is it in here? A dwarf. So 28 on dwarf, 2 days. I can't actually open it and show you, but I'm not doing the best in dwarf compared to actually looking at this comparing. Pretty good. That's pretty much recently because of my champs, but I don't have any very strong. I don't think I have any legendary dwarves. Let's see. Apart from the one that is going to be used for my Mikage fusion. Now, recently, of course, getting Geomancer, I have Demitha. That being pretty good and having them built, I'll be able to get further down into there. But not having any legendary dwarfs, it would be very cool if potentially that can be what is a login champion. I mean, we don't know. It is kind of speculation. But the other thing that people are kind of saying about this is that it could potentially most likely be an event dungeon that's going to be coming. So for myself, when I was playing, it's always right here, this coming soon. Last time that I played the last event dungeon would have been during when they had the event with, I think it was Odin's event dungeon was what was going on, if I remember correctly. But that's pretty much for me and my experience into it coming into the event dungeons. But I love how they're building up to it. I love how they have all this lore that they bring into the game. I think it would be so cool if Raid actually did a little side thing in terms of some type of like a comic or cartoon or something that they did. I don't know. It would be super cool. I would definitely watch it. I don't know if you guys would watch it. Let me know. Comment down below if you also think. But I feel like they put tons of like effort into it. And I know, I think I had read where somebody was saying, oh, maybe it was like Call of the Arbiter, a second part. But they did mention that it was not something that they were working towards quite yet for this. So that's something we can count out. But I don't think it is a stretch to say it is going to be an event dungeon. It will be a login champ, who I think will be the dwarf. But it's going to be that mythical that they kind of showed, which is what I'm intrigued in with it. As I said, I think it'd be really cool if it was one of these, like one of the perma ones. That's probably a stretch. But if it's something that is like an event wise, I don't know. I don't know if that's something I'd be able to like keep up with. I mean, I have 0 mythicals, you guys, all of 0 on either and any of my accounts. Still working towards Mikage, but I do think it would be cool. And honestly, overall, I'm just excited for this to come, and we'll see when it actually comes into game. If you download Raid Shadow Legends using my link, I'm actually going to start you off with the free legendary champion on day 1. And then at level 10, level 20, and level 30, you'll get yourself an epic. That is 4 amazing champions that you can get just by downloading using my link. As I said, it is something that I'm excited for. I kind of gave you my predictions and what I think is going to happen, along with them showing those 3 champs. When we do think back to when they had everything going on, first there was when they had the Alice collab, they had a number of characters in there. But when we did the Asgard one and all of them came in, we had Freya, we had Odin, we had Loki, we had Thor, and there was different ways to get those champions, whether it was a login, whether it was a fusion, and then going through like getting the event pieces, the summoning, things like that. So different methods. So that could also be what's coming with those other 3 kind of factions that they had showed us in there. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited for it. Like I said, we'll see when it comes into the game. But I do want to hear your thoughts. Are you excited for this? What do you think it is going to be? What are your predictions? I want you guys to leave those all down below in the comments, and be sure that you do subscribe so you come back, as I will be following along with this. And whatever is going on, I will try to attempt it, even with my account who, like, I'm like a beginner perspective, so I love taking you guys through and showing like my experience and kind of the way that I'm seeing it, which might be a different point of view from you guys. So I would also love to hear your thoughts. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.